Explainer. You know that feeling when you look at a grocery receipt and just kind of stare at it? Like the math just doesn't feel right? The money in your wallet just doesn't stretch the way it used to, and I promise you, it's not your imagination. Prices are constantly climbing. Today, we're going to dive right into the everyday mystery of why our money feels like it's vanishing and unpack the actual mechanics behind inflation. Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever wondered why your favorite childhood chocolate bar, the one that used to be just 10 rupees, is suddenly 20? Or, you know how our parents or grandparents are always saying, "Back in my day, everything was so much cheaper." We usually just roll our eyes and write it off as nostalgia, right? Well, actually, they're mathematically correct. That creeping, quiet increase in prices over time that totally reshapes what we can afford is exactly the core engine we're looking at today.
Section 1. The Shrinking Rupee. A look at everyday prices.
Picture this. It's 2015, you walk into a fast food joint with a crisp 100 rupee note, and boom, you walk out with 5 burgers, an absolute feast. Now, fast forward to today. You walk into that exact same place with an identical 100 rupee note, but now it only buys you 2 burgers. So what actually happened here? The paper, the ink, the literal number printed on the bill, that hasn't changed at all. Its nominal value is exactly the same. What changed is the economic environment around it. The prices of the burgers themselves went up, which effectively shrank the power of your money. You put the exact same input into the market, but you're getting a way smaller output.
Section 2. Defining inflation, the invisible thief.
So, the formal economic term for this whole frustrating experience is, of course, inflation, a general, sustained increase in prices across the economy. But to really get a grip on how this impacts your day-to-day life, we need to talk about purchasing power. Purchasing power is basically the actual tangible muscle behind your cash. It's what your money can actually buy in the real world. And as prices rise over time, that muscle just atrophies. It's a direct inverse relationship. Inflation is literally like an invisible thief. I mean, it doesn't break into your bank account and steal the physical bills, but it quietly siphons away their fundamental value right under your nose while you sleep. Moving on to Section 3, Why Prices Rise, the Engines of Inflation. Now, what's really interesting about this is how the mechanics actually work. Think of the economy like a giant, intricate machine powered by 3 distinct gears. First up, high demand, or demand-pull inflation. Imagine everyone suddenly wants the exact same new smartphone, but the factories just can't make them fast enough. It's the classic case of too much money chasing too few goods, which naturally yanks prices up. Second gear, rising costs, or cost-push inflation. This is all about the supply side. If global fuel prices spike or raw materials get super expensive due to supply chain issues, companies don't just absorb those hits. No way. They push those extra costs straight onto us, the consumers. Finally, the third gear, excess money, leading to devaluation. When central banks pump too much money into circulation, it literally dilutes the value of the currency itself. And the kicker, these 3 gears rarely work alone. They are constantly churning together, driving our baseline cost of living higher and higher.
Section 4. The ripple effects, how inflation impacts you.
Here is the tough reality. The fallout from all this doesn't hit everyone the same way. In fact, it creates a pretty massive economic divide. For the everyday consumer just holding on to cash, it's a losing battle. Your daily essentials cost more, and the cash sitting in your savings account is actively losing its value every single day. Cash is just super vulnerable here. But flip the coin. For certain businesses, inflation just means bumping up their price tags, which actually brings in higher revenues. And for savvy investors, they anticipate this stuff. Instead of holding cash, they park their wealth in tangible, appreciating assets, things like stocks, real estate, or gold. They use those assets as a shield to basically ride the wave of rising prices rather than getting drowned by it. It's all about capital allocation.
Which brings us to Section 5. Is inflation always bad? The balancing act.
So the crucial point is this. You might be sitting there thinking, well, shouldn't central banks just aim for absolute zero inflation then? Actually, no. A tiny controlled amount of inflation, usually around that magic 2% mark, is considered a healthy heartbeat for an economy. It's an incentive. Think about it. If you know a car is going to cost a bit more next year, you're motivated to just go ahead and buy it today, right? That keeps money moving, helps businesses expand, and keeps people employed. It's kind of like a controlled burn in a forest to prevent stagnation. But man, it is a highly delicate balance. If that fire burns too hot and inflation skyrockets out of control into double digits, it rapidly erodes wealth and makes basic survival dangerously expensive for everyone.
Section 6. Staying ahead, making smarter financial decisions. So, we've mapped it out.
Inflation is just a stubborn, structural reality of modern economics. It's always chipping away at savings and reshaping the market. But knowing this isn't just some boring academic exercise. By understanding these specific gears, whether it's demand pull, cost push, or devaluation, you go from being a passive victim of the economy to an active navigator. This knowledge is absolutely crucial. It's your baseline blueprint for protecting your savings, tweaking your investment portfolios, and making proactive, smarter moves. Because at the end of the day, financial literacy is your ultimate hedge against an unpredictable economy.
To wrap things up, I want to leave you with this really powerful thought. Money grows only when it grows faster than inflation. Just let the math on that sink in for a second. If your savings account gives you a 4% yield for the year, but the cost of living went up by 6%, your real yield is negative. You're not actually moving forward, you're quietly falling behind. So the question I leave you with today is this. Take a hard look at your own financial strategy. Is your wealth actually growing, or is it just standing still while the rest of the world races ahead of you? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you